Oke, udah.
Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan sekalian, karena kita segera akan memulai pengajian kita, maka harap menempati tempat duduknya masing-masing. Oke, kita bisa mulai.
Kita mulai? Oke.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan, adik-adik sekalian yang kami hormati, yang kami cintai. Pertama-tama, marilah kita panjatkan puji serta syukur kita kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala karena atas berkat rahmat dan karunia-Nya kita semua dapat berkumpul di acara pengajian bulanan warga Michigan. Salawat serta salam tidak lupa kita panjatkan kepada junjungan kita Nabi besar Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yang telah menuntut kita hingga dengan saat ini. Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan, adik-adik sekalian, sebelumnya kami ucapkan terima kasih atas kehadirannya di Arbor di dalam suasana yang mungkin mendung ya, tapi tidak menghalangi langkah Bapak Ibu untuk semua hadir ke Arbor untuk selain bersilaturahmi juga kita bersama-sama menuntut ilmu di dalam majelis ilmu yang akan sebentar lagi kita laksanakan. Bapak Ibu sekalian, sebelum kita mulai acara ini akan dilaksanakan pembacaan ayat suci Al-Quran yang akan dibacakan oleh adik kita Ananda Musa. Silakan kepada Ananda Musa.
Musa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيعونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهم علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون. صدق الله العظيم.
Alhamdulillah, terima kasih kepada Ananda Musa. Semoga yang membacakan maupun bagi kita yang mendengarkan diberikan pahala oleh Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Bapak Ibu sekalian, sebagaimana kita tahu bahwa sebentar lagi kita akan memasuki bulan suci Ramadan. Bagi kita umat Muslim, tentu saja menyambut dengan gembira di dalam bulan suci Ramadan ini, karena banyak sekali fitur keberkahan yang dibukakan oleh Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Bagi kita, sebagaimana hadis riwayat Bukhari Muslim, barang siapa bagi kita yang berpuasa di bulan Ramadan dengan penuh iman dan ihtisab, maka akan dihapuskan dosanya oleh Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala yang telah lalu. Dengan penuh iman dan ihtisab ini maksudnya adalah apabila kita meyakini bahwa puasa yang kita lakukan itu adalah sesuatu yang benar, dengan semangat, dengan penuh mengharapkan amal balasan dari Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala sebagaimana sifat puasa Nabi besar Muhammad SAW. Bapak Ibu sekalian, mungkin sudah banyak mendengar pengajian-pengajian biasanya di dalam bulan suci Ramadan mengenai puasa, mengenai Ramadan, baik itu dari segi fikih maupun etika ataupun yang lain-lain. Tapi kali ini kita sebentar lagi akan mendengarkan ceramah ya, lektor dari salah satu rekan kita. Beliau adalah salah satu, kalau bisa dibilang cendekiawan muda yang sudah lama menimba ilmu di negeri Paman Sam ini, dan sebentar lagi beliau itu akan pindah ke Boston. Jadi kalau misalnya kita ini selama ini sudah banyak dengar mengenai fikih, mungkin sekarang kita akan mendengarkan mengenai tips-tips dari praktisi langsung yang sudah menjalani ibadah puasa selama belasan tahun di Amerika ini. Gitu. Jadi mungkin kita santai aja ya Mas ya. Ya, jadi waktu dan tempat untuk Mas Rizal kami persilakan.
So I assume it would be better for me to speak in English, so I will do my best. But if you cannot comprehend my English, just I cannot comprehend. Ask me to speak in Bahasa. I will not take. No offense taken. Okay deh. Okay, so praise be to Allah. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil of our souls and from our bad deeds. Whomever Allah guides will never be led astray, and whomever Allah leads astray, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His last messenger. O believer, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not except as Muslims. So the topic of this khutbah is about fasting, more specifically about practical tips for Ramadan. So I think about a month ago, I was approached by Mas Aisar, our chair or Amir, to give this khutbah, and I was a little bit hesitant to say yes because my level of iman is not sufficient to be sitting in front of you. But finally I say yes because of several reasons. One of them is today is actually a good or like a happy moment, happy occasion for our community. Few of our members have finished their training. So Mas Rizky just graduated and I'm done with my postdoc. And both of our families will move, inshallah, soon. Mas Rizky will go to Indonesia for good tomorrow morning. And inshallah, I will move to Boston in early July. So this is a really good opportunity for, at least for me, and I hope I can speak on behalf of Mas Rizky to say thank you. Thank you for the brotherhood, sisterhood, hospitality, and we feel really welcome, and we feel like we belong to this big family. And we also want to, on behalf of Mas Rizky and my family, want to ask for your forgiveness if there is any misunderstanding, inconvenience from our parts. And I think this is true that we have forgiven any of, plausible inconvenience from you. So we are 0-0 at this point, and we are looking forward to keep in touch with you. And if you visit Boston or Jakarta, you can just ping us and we'll get coffee, inshallah. And then, so that's the small happy occasion or sad occasions. But there is a much bigger blessing or bounty that is approaching, which is bulan puasa Ramadan. Apa sih bahasa Inggrisnya? Ramadan, fasting month. And I always, so whenever a big moment in our life, we tend to prepare. So for example, not even big, right? When we go to Kroger, usually I write down the thing that I need to get, like milk and crackers maybe. So similarly, Ramadan is approaching. I think we should do a lot more. We cannot just like wing it, just put everything in our brain, like scattered brain. So that's basically what I'm trying. If there is one take-home message or one activity that you should do after this kultum, or should set a timer, is grab a piece of paper tonight or before Ramadan and write down your plan. So so the main message is we need to start planning, and there are a few things that you need to remember. The first. Okay, so why we need planning? Because I think what normally happens, at least in my case, is that I tend to know that I will get overwhelmed, and because especially we are in summer. And the day is really long, the evening is really short, and we want to go to Tarawih, and there are a lot of things that we can do. And that's okay, you know that you get overwhelmed, but at least you know that you get overwhelmed, and at least if you plan it, you know that you will do your best. Another thing that you need to remember is just be realistic, and then be realistic. Quality is more important than quantity, and you also need to plan for sustainability. So we can start with quality. So I can just give you one example. The thing that we did last year, Yusron, Rizky, and I, and a lot of brothers, we, at least for me, I try to do Tarawih until the end, which is like 23 rakaat, which is, I feel great. But what happened is, after that, I just crashed and then wake up for sahur, pray fajr, and then I slept, right? I asked a scholar, he said that it's better for me to pray 8 raka'ah and then go home, have sufficient rest, wake up, have sahur and eat my sahur and pray fajr at the masjid. Because if I do that, if I pray Isha and Tarawih at the masjid and fajr also at the masjid, the reward is as if I pray like the whole night. So yeah, I mean, in terms of raka'ah, 23 is larger than 11, but in terms of reward, actually quality, the 8 raka'ah has a higher quality than 11. So that's just one example that you probably can keep in mind. Another thing that you need to remember when you plan your Ramadan is that you want to instill habit that you can sustain after after Ramadan, and I will get back to this point later. So after planning, I will talk about some of the specific things that I find really useful, at least for me. So again, all of these tips, I find it useful for me. There are no two people that are identical. Maybe my situation is totally different than yours, and it may not work. It may not work in your case, but at least it worked in my case. So the first thing that I plan or write a list is my catatan doa ya, atau wish list. What are the things that I want to ask to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala? So, for example, in my case, I want to be successful in this world and hereafter. I want to be reunited with my family. I want my move to Boston to be, manageable and pleasant if possible. So, in your case, it may be different. So, and it doesn't have to be one page. It can be like 3 pages. You can just write it down because Ramadan is such a great time. It's much better than Thanksgiving sale, right? During Thanksgiving sale, you go to letsend.com and something that similarly, like in Ramadan, try to ask Allah for all of your wish. I want my move to be manageable because I don't want to get sick. So that's just one tip. And then what I normally do is I try to pick 10 wish or 10 prayers that I focus on. So if I drive, and normally I listen to NPR, and NPR, let's say, talk about, gay marriage or something, it's totally wrong, and then I say my prayer or something like that. So you can, or like if you wait for the bus, you can repeat the 10, and then you can go through all of your wish list or a prayer list after Tarawih. Another thing that I find useful is I try to come up with my New Year's resolution, like the analog of New Year's resolution, or you can call it 30-day challenge or Ramadan challenge. Try to come up with 1, 2, or at most 3, just simple thing that you really want to do and you want to keep doing it after Ramadan. So for example, you can I always want to pray like within 30 minutes after Azan instead of in the middle of prayer time. That one example. Or if you want to extend your doa setelah salat with one more Al-Fatihah or something, just find something simple that you can do every day, or you can have a resolution or a challenge that you will read Quran for 10 minutes more every day. And then after that, if applicable, try to come up with a specific time. And then the earlier, the better. So instead of saying, I'm going to recite Quran 10 minutes before iftar, it's better if you allocate that time like 10 minutes after Fajr. Because before iftar, you have to drive to the masjid, you have to cook, you have to catch bus. It will be better if you allocate that time in the beginning of your day. Another thing is, what I do is I like to prepare a lot of decision before Ramadan. So for example, long time ago, I decide the charity or the volunteer in the middle of Ramadan. I think it's better if you do that right now. So you don't have to worry about it in the last 10 days of Ramadan. You can just say, I'm gonna put my zakah, I'm gonna put my charity to, let's say, Syria or Sudan or Burma or my neighbor in Bogor or something like that. You can just get done with it so you can focus on your Tarawih and on your fasting. And then another thing that a lot of masjid do is they give refresher. So what we should do is we should learn about the fiqh, the etiquette of fasting. So So if you have any question right now, is a good time to ask your imam. For example, maybe you had a new medication this year for your eye, and then you're not sure what's the ruling for using eye drops. Now is a good time to go to the masjid, ask imam, or if you're too busy, you can email Pak Joban. Pak Joban is really good in replying email, and after that, then you know, and then when your eyes itch, you know exactly what not to do or what to do. Inshallah. How much time do I have left?
20.
20. I'll try to be brief. So we can, Sesuka gua? Okay. And then we can move from ibadah, from worship to our relationship with our family, our children. One thing that I need to be better at, I mean, Kiki is the one who does this in my family. Kiki is my wife. Is try to get your children excited about Ramadan. And there are a lot of activities that you can do. If you're a graduate student and you're excited about science, you can teach them about moon sighting and have discussion about moon sighting. You can participate in a drawing competition by Imsa's sister. You can decorate your house. You can also make a Ramadan calendar. I mean, at least my daughter, she loves marking of calendars. So there are a lot of things that is cheap that you can do. If you have good intention, you will get a lot of reward for it, and inshallah, your children will love Ramadan as much as you do. Another thing that is good is try to decide as much as possible before Ramadan. For example, another thing that often happen is often I encounter is invitation for iftar, which is nice. I mean, the food is always great. I love it, and I feel warm to be surrounded by brothers. But it's good to have a rule right now. There are some examples. You can say, you know what, at most I will go to 2 iftars in brothers or sisters' house this Ramadan, or I will only go either on Saturday or Sunday. Just come up with a rule and stick with it so you don't have to worry about it. Another thing is that ibadah or worship, act of worship doesn't have to be inside the masjid. It can also be in your apartment. Another thing that I really need to do is ask forgiveness and call my sister. I don't know when was the last time I called them. So it is a good time, or Ramadan is a good time to call them, call your mom and dad if you are fortunate to have them still healthy, and call them and ask them about their days, and you will get a lot of reward for it, inshallah. And I'm just gonna wrap up in a few minutes. I guess the biggest challenge to be productive during Ramadan is one is work, the other one is physical activity. So in terms of work, time and time again, so first we shouldn't worry. So Ramadan is not an excuse for lower productivity. It's not always the case, but in many years, what I found is that I was fully aware that I spend less time in front of my computer, like working. What I mean by in front of my computer is working, or in my lab. But surprisingly, the output is beyond my expectation. So I don't know how, and I cannot explain it to you. Maybe just have a good intention, or just be strategic. You know, if you work in a team, maybe you can influence other team member to help you. You know, if you help us, your name will be in the project, and then it will be good for you. Just find help from your lab mates or office mates. Just do your best. Never use Ramadan as an excuse, because Ramadan is you have to keep the same level of productivity. And then be honest with your employer. because your life will be much easier that way. Another tip that I try to do is sahur. For sahur. Untuk sahur tuh the recommended wake up time is like an hour before sahur, which is kind of hard. And then you eat your sahur, and then you pray witr, and then you pray fajr if possible in the masjid. And then some people say that we should stay up until sunrise, and then if you're tired, you can take additional sleep. So that's what people recommend. So I guess I will close with general tips. What I find useful is that I try to treat my brothers as a teammate. So last year, Yusron, Ardi, and Rizky were really good teammates. I mean, we didn't call each other teammates, but we encourage each other. But one thing that you need to be careful is that don't compare yourself to your teammates or your brothers, because Rizky and Yusron and Ardi are amazing. I will not be able to do the same level of worship as them. You should compare yourself with what you did yesterday or last Ramadan. Because if I compare myself with them, I will just give up, right? So that's the most important thing. Not the most important thing. One thing that I find it useful, I try to find teammates and I try to compare myself from yesterday. And then finally, just have a plan. And Ramadan is a training ground. We know that it's a training ground because Allah say that Satan, shaitan, are locked in hell. So that's why we feel that when we fast in Ramadan, it's much easier compared to, let's say, when we fast tomorrow, because it's a training ground. The challenge is actually milder. The real work actually after Ramadan. So try to instill habit that you can maintain after the month. So I think I've told you everything that I know about Ramadan. Not much, but everything that I know. And then may Allah. And then if there are bad tips, it's of course from me, because I'm so far from knowledgeable. And may Allah give us strength, give us His Son to perform our worship in the month of Ramadan. Now is a good time for question and answer, or if you have more tips, sharing, or if you disagree with my tips. So, Mawati.
Memang bulan puasa kadang-kadang ya. Ini cuma ngasih apa dari pengalaman. A couple years last year, I did. Sometimes you want to do a lot, but your body cannot do it. So I thought and after I've done good, and go pray Halloween. And my body, because I want to do it, because the story changes. As you know that my husband is, so I have to do it by myself, and do it by myself. So, but anyway, when I'm praying, my hand lifted at once, standing up. So be careful for everybody. But your body cannot handle it. Don't push yourself. Because you have to have a little bit of commitment. Husband is everybody, and it must be just chaos. So remind yourself, I know you want to do a lot, but you know your body. I think it's my experience. A couple of times I did this. I don't want to drive people and collect pictures. Just other people. So I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mawati. Yeah, so I guess if I can summarize it into a few words, you also need to keep in mind, you also need to tell yourself to be realistic. And because the thing that you want to do in this month, you should be able to transfer all of them for the rest of the year. It's a good point.
Ada pertanyaan yang lain atau ada yang mau sharing? Silakan.
Pak Ahmad mungkin?
Senior.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much for sharing the tips. My point is, I think we need to put the priority over things like what said. Sometimes the body can take it, but tarawih is on the sunnah. You don't want to miss Fajr prayer. And then you wake up late and you're gonna miss Fajr prayer. So just want to put in the good, priority list. What needs to be done first, and then if you can't handle it, then then you don't want to miss the wajib prayer, Isha and the Fajr. So just want to make sure everybody knows what the priority in their list.
Okay, any other want to share something? What? One more before we finish this talent. Okay.
Halo, nyoba yang baru kan? Saya mau tanya ya, kalau you understand Indonesian, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course. It's Indonesian.
Because it's more comfortable as Indonesian.
Yeah.
So, apa itu kan setiap Ramadan you want to be like, you want to have like the best Ramadan, right? So like for example, you already make intention, I want to be like tarawih in the masjid for a month, because in my masjid is like one night is one juice. Yeah. So I want to be like 30 days. I want to be finish the Quran Khatam. So, but you know what? That in we have Indonesian pengajian too, like in others, like 1 hour or 2 hours away from my place, and they always invited us every week for iftar, but they don't have time because it's already late, so they don't have time to do the tarawih. So if I go to their place for iftar, and then I'm not gonna catch the prayer tarawih in the masjid. So if I were you, so which one I should choose? Do I have to go more benefit to the silaturahmi, or I have to go to so which one? Because if you go to the masjid, it's going to be more closer. Like to Allah, but silaturahmi I can do it another time. So I don't know. I'm just confused right now. So I want to be like maybe you have, like situation which one is more benefit.
Is anyone? Can anyone help? So that's I experience that dilemma every year. That's why one of the points that I touch is about having a policy for your family, like how many iftar. So instead of worrying it like every week in Ramadan, you can decide before. But what is the best frequency? I think I'm not. Maybe you know the answer. It's wonderful that you have a lot of friends that invite you, and I envy that. But in terms of giving you, maybe I have to think about it and then give you a call later about my answer. I don't have the answer right now. Yeah, just have a policy like, okay, maybe one day, mungkin satu hari di akhir pekan, mungkin nggak Sabtu Minggu, cuma satu, atau diputusin aja sekarang, soalnya emang itu susah kan. Jadi daripada pusing, pas bulan puasa, mending pas bulan puasa kita ngerjain yang lain. Nah, tapi seberapa sering, gimana tarawehnya, kayaknya mungkin tanya imam di masjid aja kan. Ya memang levelnya baru segini.
Is there anyone who want to respond the last question? Okay.
Expert. Okay.
Nggak bisa.
Oke, udah.
Terima kasih Mas Rizal atas tips-tips yang telah diberikan kepada kita. Mungkin saya tidak bisa menyimpulkan karena tadi banyak sekali hal-hal yang disampaikan, poin-poin yang bisa kita dapatkan untuk mempersiapkan di bulan suci Ramadan. Tapi mungkin ada satu hal yang saya bisa sampaikan bahwa mungkin dalam menghadapi bulan Ramadan ini akan lebih baik kalau misalnya kita sedari awal mulai mempersiapkan diri, mulai memfokuskan diri terhadap untuk menjalani ibadah di bulan suci Ramadan ini, sehingga nanti insya Allah ibadah kita akan bisa lebih maksimal. Untuk mungkin penutup mungkin bisa kita akan tutup dengan baca doa. Mungkin Mas Turkish bisa bantu atau apa? Bisa membantu untuk membacakan doa.
Sebelum ditutup ada satu dua pengumuman dulu. Yang pertama dari sanat ya. Insya Allah kita setelah bulan Ramadan, bulan Juli nanti akan ada pesantren kilat spesial mengundang Pak Ustadz Joba dari DC. Bukan Washington DC ya. Saya minta tolong ke Pak Iskandar untuk mungkin sedikit beri gambaran akan seperti apa nanti pesantren kilat itu.
Oh, saya disuruh ke depan katanya. Boleh?
Oh, silakan. Silakan. Oh ya, tentu dong.
Ya.
Ya, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ringan dikit lah, gitu ya. Jangan tegang kayak gitu tadi loh. Pada tegang tadi. Oh benar lah. Iya. Ya seperti yang sudah diumumkan sebentar tadi oleh Mas Aisyar bahwa ada salat. Salat itu kalau barangkali belum ada yang tahu kepanjangan dari pesantren kilat, bukan kependekan dari pesantren kilat. Jadi Midwest di Midwest ini lebih bagus. Halo, itu suara saya. Ya jadi di Midwest itu ada 13 states kalau nggak salah ya. Itu biasanya setiap tahun mengadakan pesantren kilat. Jadi makanya disebut namanya Sanglat with Request. Kebetulan ini sudah yang ke 8, 9, 10 ya, 9 kali 10 yang bakalan ini. Jadi dulu pertama kali oleh Pak Joman tahun berapa? 2006. Kemudian turun dengan Pak Najamuddin, kemudian Ustaz naik. Jadi setiap tahun yang kita adain itu pesantren kilat tempatnya berubah berbeda-beda. Dari pernah di Chicago berapa kali, di Columbus berapa kali. Biasanya juga di rumah-rumah atau di hotel. Pernah juga di hotel di Columbus seperti itu. Jadi pesantren kilat ini disebut sangat bebas karena mencakup beberapa state. Nah itu kita mencoba untuk bersama-sama kita semua untuk bertemu bersilaturahmi di sana itu sekalian mendapatkan tausiah ataupun ceramah dari Ustadz yang kita undang. Jadi alhamdulillah tahun ini Pak Jawaban, Ustadz Jawaban itu dari Washington State, bukan Washington DC, Washington State, di Seattle, sebenarnya bukan Seattle itu Redmond kalau masalah. Pak Jawaban ini adalah Ustadz paling terkenal, Ustadz orang Indonesia yang sudah bermukim di Amerika nggak tahu berapa puluh tahun. Dan beliau ini Ustadz yang sudah mendirikan sudah 2 masjid dan juga sebagai pengurus pembimbing haji juga dari tiap tahun menjadi pembimbing haji. Nah itu nanti di dalam sangkal itu insya Allah kita akan mengadakan hari Jumat, Sabtu, Minggu. Jumat sore, Sabtu siang, dan kemudian Minggu siang. Sabtu siang dan sore, kemudian Minggu siang. Nah itu kira-kira waktunya 7 hari setelah setelah hari raya. Jadi insya Allah Pak Jovan sudah di tempat saya malam Jumat, jadi hari Kamis malam Jumat. Jadi beliau sudah terbang ke tempat saya, ya, alhamdulillah. Dan insya Allah lokasinya sementara ini ya di tempat di rumah saya. Jadi makanya kami inginkan juga nanti dari jamaah pengajian ini siapa saja yang bisa hadir supaya panitia nanti lebih baik mempersiapkan konsumsi dan sebagainya. Jadi seperti yang saya katakan barusan bahwa hari Kamis malam Pak Ustadz datang, hari Jumat beliau mengisi pengajian khutbah Jumat di masjid dekat kami, kemudian Jumat sore mulai salat yang ringan-ringan saja dulu. Jadi nanti hari Sabtu lah kira-kira yang puncaknya dan hari Minggu. Nah itu Sabtu biasanya dari sholat subuh, tahajud, sholat subuh, kemudian kuliah subuh, kemudian terus berlanjut sampai dengan malam hari tausiahnya, kemudian dilanjutkan dengan tahajud kembali dan sholat subuh, kuliah subuh, dan kemudian siangnya hari Minggunya. Jadi insya Allah hari Senin pagi Pak Jawaban akan kembali ke Washington. Nah itu jadi kami mohon nanti saya akan coba tanya barangkali siapa yang bisa hadir, baik yang 100% bisa hadir atau 50-50 atau yang tidak bisa hadir sama sekali supaya memudahkan panitia nanti. Jadi nanti semua ini dari kita untuk kita semua, dari pengajian lokality di Midwest. Jadi nanti fun, proses, time dan sebagainya kita share bersama-sama. insya Allah kami juga mohon doanya supaya bisa berhasil nanti insya Allah. Jadi nanti kalau misalnya ada yang juga karena beliau adalah pembimbing haji, jadi kalau beliau itu atau beberapa di antara kita ingin tanya-tanya mengenai manasik haji atau apa bisa juga. Kayak mungkin Bang Torkis ini mau naik haji juga nih beliau, insya Allah dengan keluarga ya, berdua aja ya, berdua. Ya insya Allah. Jadi bisa mungkin bertanya mengenai manasik haji dan sebagainya. Jadi Mas Muji mau bertanya? Oh silakan.
Saya dengar pada begitu berpengaruhnya seperti apa? Pada masa lalu saya dengar sanlat ini dengan diadakan sanlat ini para peserta mendapatkan sesuatu yang membuat mereka jadi berubah seperti apa?
Oh ya. Ya alhamdulillah. Satu aja pertanyaannya ya. Enggak. Nanti boleh nambah. Enggak apa-apa. Seperti makanan dulu Mas ya. Ya jadi kami share sedikit pengalaman sebelumnya bahwa sandal ini sangat bermanfaat bagi keluarga kita semua jamaah ya, karena dari pagi sampai malam kita terutama bapak-bapak ibu yang bekerja itu jarang ketemu anak dan istri, jadi bisa pada saat itu bertemu berkumpul bersama anak istri dari pagi sampai ya dari pagi itu mulai dari tahajud sampai dengan malam sampai dengan ini bukan suara saya yang jelek ya. Itu bersama-sama. Jadi apa namanya sangat baik sekali untuk membina keluarga. Orang bilang keluarga samara ya, saya bilang warahmah. Ya, dan beberapa materinya juga sangat baik. Pada saat itu saya ingat dengan namanya Pak Coban ini. Pada saat itu di rumah saya malam hari, jadi malam Sabtu, malam Sabtu atau malam saya lupa. Jadi beliau membawakan mengenai kematian yang pada saat itu. Jadi pada saat itu kita ada semacam kayak api unggun gitu ya, sehingga waktu itu sangat mencekam gitu ya. Sehingga pada saat itu beberapa orang yang kira-kira masih sekuler atau masih apa, banyak sekali yang terkena hidayah gitu. Jadi kemudian berubah 360 derajat, balik lagi 180 derajat atau berbelok lah gitu. Bukan berbelok, malah lurus. Kalau tadinya hidupnya belok, malah lurus. Nah itu kemudian banyak yang kemudian malah menjadi sangat Islami, lebih dari kita malah. Gitu. Jadi itu adalah pengalaman dari jamaah. Jadi beberapa jamaah yang alhamdulillah terkena atau mendapat hidayah. Jadi ini adalah satu pengalaman yang saya anjurkan juga hadir lah gitu ya, terutama yang tiap hari bekerja keras, jarang ketemu anak istri. Nah di situ kita melihat bahwa bagaimana gitu suasana sebenarnya, suasana batin pada saat itu. Jadi karena satu keluarga itu idealnya adalah bahwa semua level dari knowledge ke iman sama, gitu. Suami istri. Kalau itu jomplang nanti susah ya. Jadi kalau misalnya istri namanya ibu-ibu ya, kebanyakan ibu-ibu itu lebih banyak ilmunya dari suaminya karena ibu-ibu yang sering ngaji, biasanya. Bapak-bapaknya enggak, karena bekerja loh, karena apa ya. Jadi ini yang sering jomplang gitu ya, artinya semua level harus sama, disamakan. Coba untuk sama. Karena ada pengalaman beberapa teman saya, karena jomblonya ini akhirnya banyak yang bisa karena apa ya? Karena nggak sesuai dengan lagi apa namanya pola berpikir dan itu ya, vision. Nah itu jadi apa namanya itu yang bisa saya share ke Mas Muji gitu. Silakan Pak Wati.
Boleh nambahin
Ini salah satu contoh. Salah satu contoh. Oh banyak bukan ini. Ini salah satu yang the best.
Pengalaman saya itu berpuasa selama beberapa saya mau religious than I was before. You know, that's pengajian, especially pesantren this happy one. Again, it's dependent on what the person, what do you want, change it or not. Then again, they come to the person. It doesn't matter. People go to arch so many times, they don't change. Just like you change it completely, but in pengajian, they're good. My experience is change a lot to a better one. I'm still trying to change it to even better than before. Or praying, because nobody remind you like your husband and wife and we can do it. For me, I missed it with the master praying together. So it's like, hey, wait for a second, I want to pray with you also. Because for me, I was praying myself. This is very sometimes they miss it. When gathering like this, just pray to God. Oh, this is blessed and something that I want. So that I think there's a lot of experience you get it is you change it again and again. So I got a lot of I make my changes according to Pengajian and something like that. So I hope everybody else want to go join it as you know to something that there's a lot of things we can take it and take it and be amalkan in our daily life. I think that's it for me. Sorry, I hope there's answer your question a little bit.
Ya ini Mas Mudi ini salah satu yang 180 derajat bukan 360 ya 180 derajat tadi. Jadi saya masih ingat pertama kali waktu Mbak Wati datang ke rumah saya. Waktu pertama kali datang ke rumah saya seperti foto model. Wah, luar biasa sih. Itu saya sampai gitu ya. Sekarang alhamdulillah gitu ya. Jadi dan ada beberapa juga teman saya yang tadinya juga sekuler juga apa namanya itu. Sekarang udah ini bahkan setelah hadir di beberapa pesantren kita selalu hadir. Nah, ini malah apa namanya sekarang mulai memberikan apa nasihat-nasihat gitu ya. Bahkan ada waktu itu dia apa namanya berdua datang gitu bilang mengenai apa beberapa masalah gitu. Oh kamu harus gini. Oh loh kan kita datang berdua, saya juga udah tahu itu. Itu kata temennya. Gitu. Jadi sehingga dia sangat apa namanya sangat antusias untuk berdakwah ini. Bahkan terakhir ini saya dengar malah Pak Najamudin waktu itu ya, Pak Najamudin yang dari Indonesia datang yang memberikan anunya juga tausiahnya ke ini. Bahkan terakhir Pak Najamudin yang di kuliah sama masuk. Itu jadi itu ada Pak anunya ya efek positifnya. Jadi saya mohon yang hadir di sini yang kira-kira supaya saya bisa lihat gitu ya siapa yang kira-kira bisa hadir mungkin tunjuk tangan. Insya Allah ya 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh gini, insya Allah nanti akan saya follow up lagi di Bilis, Pak.
Oke.
Jadi nanti akan ada, sebenarnya sudah sempat saya umumkan di Bilis sekali, ada form yang bisa diisi di Bilis. Walaupun misalnya masih 50-50, tolong diisi formnya sebagai input juga buat panitia. Misalnya tadi kan Pak Iskandar bilang acara Jumat Sabtu Minggu, mungkin ada yang cuma bisa hadir Sabtu Minggu saja mungkin, ya, atau kalau bisa hadir mulai dari hari Jumat, baik sekali. Jadi kita nanti bisa dapat input yang sebanyak-banyaknya. Lalu misalnya usulan tema, misalnya spesifik ada yang ingin tahu tentang manasik haji, mungkin masih bisa kita atur ya Pak ya, programnya itu nanti di hari Sabtu atau Minggunya ada portion tentang haji. Itu jadi begitu ya, tidak masalah Pak ya?
Iya.
Itu dulu ya. Jadi nanti tolong kerjasamanya kita tolong diisi formnya, walaupun masih 50-50 atau mungkin belum tertarik, tolong diisi dulu saja sebagai input juga untuk panitia. Mudah-mudahan.
Atau mungkin ada yang untuk 50-50, siapa yang tunjuk tangan coba? Oh, cuma sedikit. Insya Allah semuanya hadir dong. Ya mungkin begitu saja.
Terima kasih Pak.